I read somewhere that if they put all the side effects on it, that people will be more likely to think it will work.
It's a fact.
Yeah.
The advertising that goes through, if you ever watch an ad for any kind of medication whatsoever, the really good drug companies, I mean, they've all figured this out. It's like, this will help your pain go away. There you go. And by the way, the side effects, early death is possible. People love that. You know, you're sick, you could feel nausea, you can have all these things, dizziness, headaches, and all this stuff, and it makes them more likely to purchase. You can mention the weakness. I've told this to people forever. If you mention your weaknesses, I don't know anything about cars, nothing. I'm an idiot. I know nothing. People say, wow, that's weird. I've never heard somebody mention something stupid about themselves. And they'll listen now. It's like, what is he good at? Oh, there's nobody who can put together a persuasive piece of work better than I can. That's a fact. Nobody. I've never seen it. You know, Cialdini gave up a long time ago. He's got 6 laws of persuasion. He just came up number 7. We got 62, you know, so we did fine, right? And that's what you want to be able to do. You want to be able to say that, and it's okay. And people, when they see you, they want to feel certainty, right? Because when they read your copy, when they get that sales presentation, they should know that you don't know nothing about this piece of business here, this kind of thing, whatever that is. You should be able to have a couple of those stories, okay? I can't speak a foreign language. I can say hello, good day, everybody. I get all kinds of languages, you know, like 60. Dzień dobry, Mr. Kevin Hogan, you know. So I can say hello and vitami and welcome and all that in all the countries, but I don't want to learn any languages. That's why I bring an interpreter. And by the way, your weakness becomes a strength, right? Write this down, guys. Your weakness becomes a strength. Why? So Kevin can't learn the language. I'm not as smart as these people. You guys are all bilingual. Everybody in Europe is bilingual.
Yeah.
Ding, 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 ding. Everybody. It's like, it's so cool. I couldn't do that for anything. Okay. Now, so I have a disadvantage though, because I am now considered weak. So now I have to, what's the upside of this? Well, I have to bring an interpreter everywhere I go. What does that tell you about the person? They can afford an interpreter, right?
Yeah.
Okay. It's like, and I bring an interpreter and I bring a manager from the country with me, somebody who will show me around and take care of me and make sure that everything is good. I don't screw up. I don't do any faux pas. It's like all of a sudden now the perception of the value of the person increases. I've already told them that I'm not as smart as you guys. That's a fact, by the way. I can't speak the language. I've tried. I gave up a long time ago, you know. And yes, I can understand and overhear people saying words, and I can catch what they're saying about me in most languages, but that's about it. So take your weakness, turn it into a strength, and you should be able to mention weakness about your product and your sales copy. You should be able to mention a weakness about your services or whatever it is you do to anybody, to a woman, to the girl you want to ask out, to your wife, to your kids. You're bad at something. Let them know you're bad at something. People love it. It's okay. It's terrifying to people, by the way. Yeah. Salespeople especially. God, I don't want anybody to think I'm bad. Yeah, you do. It's actually okay.
You know, I will choose something that's not as bad for me, so I don't mind. You can choose your weaknesses. Expert points. So you brought up another great point. It's about you have to be certain as a salesperson, or you have product or service to sell. You have to be really certain yourself. Can you talk a little bit about this? Because it's more than just I'm awesome. I'm awesome. You literally have to feel it, believe it, and it will make the mirror neurons. Well, I won't discuss it further. Take it away.
Mm-hmm. So this is critical. This is the game changer, the difference maker between people. Really, is that when I say something, if I'm talking about anything that's in my wheelhouse, that's I'm good at, there's about 10 things I'm good at and about 500 that I'm not. Once I'm talking about gold, if I'm talking about collecting musicians, jewelry, there's all kinds of stuff that I do that I'm pretty good at. I buy gold, I sell gold, I invest in money, I tell people what to do with their money just based on what's going on in the world. Things like this. It's like, if you want to know about that, there's nobody who's going to do a better job. And that's why that people hire Kevin Hogan. There's a million reasons not to hire me. Right? So you should know what you're good at, and don't ever try to look when you're looking at life, sit there and go, I'm good at these things and I suck at these things. Most people sit here and try to get a little better at these things, and they spend all day long trying to get better at something they're terrible at. The things that they're really good at already, you know, like I'm a good chess player, I'm a good guitar player, but I can't play with, I've played with some amazing people, but I can't keep up. I turn my amp all the way down, right? So I'm smart enough to know if they want to hang out and I want to hang out, but I'm turning my amp down. I'm just there to have fun, right? Now, certainty is this. Certainty means I say, Alex, I need you to stop off at the store. I want you to pick up a loaf of bread. I need you to grab some milk and some butter for us, okay? All right, and then we can have dinner, and it'll be really nice, and I'm looking forward to that. Cool. All right, I got to get back to work. Now, what I just did is I changed your whole life, okay? I didn't say, Alex, I believe in you. You should know this. You should know that I really believe that you can go out there and get butter and bread and a stick of gum too. And I really believe with all my heart that you can make it back. And I'm positive. And I'm really believing in you, man. And I really want you to be able to know this. And you're okay. Wow. Right? That's what the positive psychology movement's all about, is telling your kids, I really believe in you, kid. I really know you can do it. I'm sure you can. Versus, okay, kid, here's the deal. Go over there, grab that, bring it back now. Okay?
And I love that one. I used it on my daughters. Yeah,
Certainty
just be
pays.
very certain. But most salespeople aren't certain of their own product or service. So they come in, this is about expert positioning also, right? But they come in very low. Like, please choose me, please buy my product. And give all the incentives to buy, but they're not certain. So how can we get certain?
I want everybody to sit here and think about how you would tell your girlfriend, your wife, your friend, your roommate, whoever, how you would go to the store to get food, or that you are going to go and buy gasoline for your car today. Okay, honey, I'm going to buy gas. I'll be back in 20 minutes. I didn't say I'm going to try really, really hard, right? I just said, honey, I'm going to the store. I'm going to get gas. I'll be back in 20 minutes. Okay, that's it. So I want you to literally to come up with whatever it is that you're that sure of. Like, I'm going to go grab the mail. I'll be back in a minute. I've got to go online. I need to respond to Kevin on Facebook. Give me 5 minutes. Okay, that's certain, right? Okay, I'm coming. I just got to do this for real quick, and because we got the gig going today, and we got to do the webinar and all that. Okay, so that's certain. You're 100% sure that you're going to be with the person. So you want to start communicating about the things that you are certain about. If you're not certain about your company, by the way, okay, let's step one step back. Guy comes up to me at a convention, and this is not a joke, unfortunately. He says, Kev, he says, I'm working at Merck. He says, I really don't like Merck. Merck is a big drug company here in the US. Mm-hmm. And he says, I shouldn't probably even tell the story like this, but this is the way it was. So he says, I really, Pfizer, their products are better, their services, blah, 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 blah. And I was like, I said, what? He says, what do I do? How do I compete? I said, okay, go to the sales manager at Pfizer and tell him the story that you just told me, and you'll have a job. And he's like, no, but help me. And I'm like, no, really, go to Pfizer tomorrow and tell him what you just told me. Tell him that Kevin Hogan said to hire you, because you're that believable about Pfizer. And he got a job. he was doing fine, So it's pretty cool. So that's certainty when you're like that. If you're questionable about your company, all right, then you better have a damn good reason as to why you are representing that company, because that incongruity inside of the self is not good for us. All right. If I'm sitting here what I'm looking around, like, what don't I know about here? Like, how to fix a microphone. If I'm sitting, there you go. What is it? It's a blue microphone over here, not plugged into the computer like it should have been. So here we got a blue microphone. Somebody says, hey, Kev, can you tell me how to fix it? I'll say, yes, and I can charge you $100 an hour for that, except for I'm not telling the truth, because I can't fix the microphone. It's either going to work or it's not going to work. Okay, so I should not be putting myself out there as the salesperson for this microphone. That's just the way that you must do business. It's like, I can tell you that it's a great microphone when it works, and I know what I'm doing is when I talk and it actually shows up as having good audio. But obviously, when I put it in this morning and I tested the computer, it didn't work. All right. This is so important that we call it in NLP, we called it congruent. Okay. But in real life, we just call it tell the frickin' truth.
That's true. But what if you know that you can help the person, but you're not sure how the other person feels about you? So you have a lot of people, they know how to do the job, but not how to sell themselves.
I really like this part. I think that a lot of people that don't have 50 years of experience, there's two things. Do you want to go to the doctor? Just think about reframing. Reframing is really important, and this is a great way to make certainty, right? Think about it like this. How long I've been doing this? 30 years, almost 30 years teaching persuasion. 30 years is a long time, right? So 30 years teaching persuasion. All right. So I have 30 years of experience. All right. Not bad. Okay, but wait a second. Let's say that somebody else comes up over here and say that they want to do well. Other people have come up and want to do well. And I have literally mentored them, and I've told them, here's what you want to do. You want to say, look, I study all this stuff. We go and test it over here. We do this and we do this. Kev, you don't have time to do that. Okay, now let's say that that's true. Let's say that I don't have the time. So now they say, okay, so what we're doing that Kev can't do is this and this and this and this. Okay, so Kev's a great guy to bring in. You should consider hiring him next year. Bring him for sure. But if you want somebody who's on the cutting edge of specific communication for your industry, Kev will be the first person to tell you that he's not that person unless you're in banking. Okay, if you're in banking or in the charity fields or something like that, he's not the number one. He doesn't have the pulse on every single organization. Okay, this is what we do, and we only do it with car manufacturers, or we only do it with banks, or like that. So separate yourself out from the expert. Don't knock the expert. Never say anything bad about anybody. I'll tell you what, if nothing else, be selfish. Okay, he will help you someday. Okay, so say good things about everybody. I call this positive gossip. Say good things about everybody behind their back all the time. Okay. And over here, set yourself. Find out what is it here that's going to make you believable, plausible, special. And to this person, why are they going to believe you? It's going to be, you know what? That's true. He's pretty good, and they're good, and I like that company. But here's the deal: if you do that, you're going to get 7-year-old information. I'll give you an example. This is coming out in the new book, and it hasn't been told to anybody. So you guys are getting this before anybody. Yes. If you guys have written copy, this is cool. This is seriously amazing. The papers were just released 3 weeks ago. Let's call it 3 weeks ago. So loss aversion. We all know that loss aversion, people are much more likely to fear loss than they are to get gains, right? And you think to yourself, so I'm going to write my sales copy and push loss aversion and all this kind of stuff. But here's the thing. Ready for this? It turned out to be wrong.
What?
Yeah. The fear of loss is not more powerful than the desire to gain. Now, this is going to hit probably, my book will come out, let's call it January 1st, plus or minus a month. Starting in February, you're going to hear everybody say, I have the secret. And the secret is that you can start pushing loss aversion less and start pushing pleasure, upside, benefit, potential again, because it turns out they're almost exactly equal across subjects. And I mean, I'm talking 20 different fields of study were tested with this. Yeah. And Kahneman and Tversky, the guys who came up with this originally in '83, with heuristics and biases, these guys were geniuses, and they did some great research. And it was based on this research, when it was trying for replication, that the scientists have now discovered that loss aversion is only as good. It's not less, but it's only as good as the desire for gain or increase, which is just freaking phenomenal. So what this means is that you don't have to push the button so hard all the time. Okay. And we already knew one thing, which a lot of people don't know, but we already knew that if you push loss aversion or pain too hard, that people will walk away and run away. People will run away from the fear, if you push too hard anyway. So there's one we did know, but not a lot of people know, versus one that's brand new.